girls to come on in, and let's welcome the 2010 Shad Derby Queens contestants. So as some of you, or most of you probably know, the Gala is the kickoff to a host of other events, the culmination of which is the Shad Derby Day on May 15th. Each event is organized and hosted by local civic organizations that make up the Shad Fest Bureau. There's a calendar of events available on the table out front, which some of you already saw. There's still some out there if you wanted to take one. And I encourage you to attend and support other Shad activities throughout the next couple months. None of these events would be possible without the volunteers that donate their time and energy. And I'd just like to take a moment to recognize our past committee chairs that are here with us today. Bill Chido? He's still there? Oh, okay. Well, Bill was here, and Bill chaired in 1981. Mike Rabbit, also known as Dad. He took 2006, 2002, 2001, 98, 97, 96, 88, and 83. Carrie Ruiz, who is right there. 2006 to 2008, and then I kicked him out. Then Don Trinks. Don had 2005, 2004, 2002, 2001, 95, 93, and 92. And Ernie Weisberg, are you still there? Yeah. I don't actually have written down what years he did.
Probably before you were born, 75.
Each year we produce a Shad Derby pin, and as many of you probably noticed, we weren't able to distribute the pins tonight. This is a true story, there was actually a bit of a mix-up at the factory in China where they're produced, and the pins didn't get on the production line before the Chinese New Year celebration started, where the factory closes for like 3 weeks. So we will have them probably in the next week, and I will get them to everybody that will be getting one. They're actually, we went with the color yellow this year. I'm not sure exactly why. We've just never done yellow before, so I thought it would be nice. And I'd also like to thank Peerless Insurance for graciously sponsoring the pins again this year. I'd also like to thank Windsor Federal for sponsoring the food, which I'm sure you enjoyed this evening. Thank you. And also thank you to Bart's and the Beanery for providing this great spread for us. And before I turn things over to my co-chair Brad here, he's going to talk more about tonight's judging event. I just wanted to thank him for agreeing to co-chair with me this year. Last year Brad got involved as our treasurer, and about 5 minutes after the ball ended last year, I started urging him to co-chair with me for this year. And for a few months, he just kind of smiled and laughed every time I mentioned it. And finally, I believe after a few drinks, he got sick of me asking and said, okay, I'll chair. And then a couple weeks later, I called him and dropped the bombshell that I was pregnant and due in mid-March. So I wasn't even sure if I was going to be here tonight. I may not see any of you again in the next 7 months. But thanks, Brad, for sticking by.
I really should be called the co-chair, maybe apprentice, because Shannon really knows how everything runs around here. She's really pro on all this stuff. But thank you, Shannon. Before I get into tonight's activities, I first want to recognize all the great sponsors we have. Nothing happens here without their generosity. All of us are volunteers. We are simply here because we believe in Windsor, and we believe the Shad Derby is a great event, and we want to do whatever we can to support it. All the contestants here tonight had someone or some organization or business in our community contribute financially to help this event exist. However, that doesn't cover all the expenses. Donated money provides for the awards, security and facilities for the events, and numerous other things that add up very quickly. If you haven't already done so, I want to encourage you or your business or your organization to consider contributing this year. We have different levels of sponsorship, and your organization or business will be recognized and provided advertising space in the Shad Derby program relative to the size of the contribution. And this is a great way to promote your business or organization and let the community know that you support it. We also want to encourage the parents and families to purchase one of the smaller ads to cheer on their Shad Derby pick for Shad Queen. Unfortunately, I can't say it will actually influence the judges, but it is a great way to express your enthusiasm. We have all the information and examples with us here tonight, and feel free to let me know if you have any questions. Now, to the judging. First off, the judging panel is comprised of a judge's chair, who has the responsibility of finding the judges and all the logistics of making sure they know where to be and when, and making sure they are clear on the criteria. We then have the 3 judges, and lastly we have an auditor who will collect and tally all the scoring data. Our judge's chair this year is Kelly Cushing. Kelly is a 1992 graduate of Windsor High School and a former Shad Derby Queen contestant. After graduating from the University of Hartford, Kelly has pursued a long career in the media, working for Channel 8 in New Haven as a producer, and currently working in the sales and marketing department for ESPN in Bristol. When not busy with her 2-year-old son Brady, Kelly volunteers with various charities such as the Susan G. Komen Connecticut Race for the Cure, Hartford Hospital Book Buddies, and various charities through ESPN. Kelly enjoys spending time with her family, baking, scrapbooking, going to concerts, and traveling. Kelly currently resides in Rocky Hill with her husband, Bob. Now to our judges. Our first judge is Nancy Watson. Nancy graduated from Pierce School of Art with a major in interior design. Her talents led her to a career in the contract furniture industry. As an accomplished interior planner, project manager, and vice president, she has worked with Fortune 500 companies and leading architectural firms. Nancy is currently enjoying tenure with Geiger International as a product specialist. In her spare time, Nancy is designing custom-made jewelry and hosting trunk shows with several other artisans. As a very visual person and with a love for shopping, one of her goals is to open a stylish and sustainable gallery, exhibiting local artist products and consignments of home accessories. She recently relocated to the Hartford area from San Francisco, bringing her closer to family and friends. Some of her interests include antiquing, travel, visiting museums, furniture refinishing, and decorating. Our next judge is Nancy St. Pierre. Nancy is a self-employed seamstress, owner of Sew It Seams, located in Bristol, Connecticut. She specializes in custom-made women's attire and all types of clothing alterations. She has been sewing for 50 years, and prior to starting her own business, Nancy was employed as vice president of the Taylor & Fenn Company here in Windsor, and a former boss of mine. Many hot days in the foundry. Nancy lives in Bristol with her husband Gary and has 3 children and 3 grandchildren. Aside from sewing, she enjoys spending time with her family, traveling, snowmobiling, and golfing. Nancy is a 1969 graduate of Windsor High School, and in 1991, her daughter was the Shad Derby Queen. Our third judge tonight is Jennifer Pickett. Jennifer is a second grade teacher in Portland, Connecticut. She grew up in Windsor as Jennifer Bernstein and got married over the summer. Jen graduated from Windsor High School in 2002 and from the University of Connecticut with a master's degree in 2007. Jen piloted an after-school reading program for at-risk first and second graders within her district. In her spare time, Jen enjoys traveling, photography, and going to the beach. She and her husband, Christopher, live in East Haddam. Our auditor is Timothy Carmen. Tim was born and raised in Windsor. He attended Loomis Chaffee and graduated from there in 1999. Tim went on to the University of Richmond in Richmond, Virginia, graduating with a BS in accounting and a BA in religion. Soon after college, he passed the CPA exam and became a practicing CPA in the state of Connecticut. Currently, Tim is the Assistant Vice President of Financial Reporting Risk at Mass Mutual Life Insurance in Springfield, Massachusetts. In 2004, Tim moved to South Windsor after marrying his wife, Kristen Rowe, whom he met in college. They have a 2-year-old son named Drew and a second child due in early May. Now then, there are 3 judging events that are part of this. The first one is tonight and accounts for 15% of the total score. The contestants have prepared a 1-minute speech to introduce themselves, and they'll be judged not only on their speech, but also their composure and public speaking skills. The second event is closed to the public and accounts for 60% of their score, and is an interview with the judges where there's a larger emphasis on their knowledge of current events and community involvement. The last event, and by far the most fun, is at the Shad Derby Ball, where each of the contestants will read an essay they have prepared. That will constitute the last 25% of their overall score, and the Shad Derby Queen will be crowned that night. So, let me hand things over to Kathy and Dean.
We are the co-chairs of the Shad Derby Queens Committee, and we'd like to thank our committee. Our committee has been intact for several years now, and I'd like to recognize Linda Carter in the back. Ryan Lombardi. And Pam Micah. We're having a great time getting to know our new candidates for 2010. You'll find it's a very talented and interesting bunch of girls. We have athletes, we have stage performers, we have all sorts of different kinds of things that they do. They're all involved in the community, and they are a wonderful group of girls. We can't wait for you to hear from them. Without further ado, we will start the program.
All right, first up is Rachel Simmons, Miss Hairdresser on Fire.
Good evening, everyone. When my mom died 7 years ago, I came here to live with my amazing new parents, my aunt and uncle. And it's always been their philosophy that no matter how hard it was, I could do anything as long as I put my mind to it. The good news is I'm a pretty determined person, but the bad news is in my mind, anything means everything. I've done everything in my high school career, from dancing to singing, volunteering and working, and after-school activities to a rigorous honors program. And to be honest, I haven't really found my thing yet. I'm only 18 and hardly out of high school, but I found that putting my mind to it doesn't necessarily mean deciding what you want to do with the rest of your life. And that's why I keep trying new things, like Shad Derby, so that either by process of elimination or by a miracle, I will find my calling. I'm hoping to attend the University of Rhode Island in the fall, and I'm going to be proudly one of their undecideds. And I plan to be open-minded and enthusiastic and find who I eventually will become. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. Over the summer, I was diagnosed with arthritis and tendonitis in both knees. After attending physical therapy, I was told that knee replacement surgery may be the only solution. Although this isn't a life-threatening illness, it is hard to know that I may not be able to play lacrosse my senior year in high school. To keep myself motivated, I run every day with the hope that eventually my knees may continue to grow stronger. This past September, my father and I ran a 4-mile road race that benefited Alex's lemonade stand. This was probably the most inspirational moment of my life. Running side by side with all different kinds of people who face all different kinds of issues has inspired me to continue to run, even if I may not be able to play lacrosse ever again. After I graduate this June, I plan to attend either Roger Williams University or Marist College in the hopes of pursuing a business degree focused in business management. Upon graduating college, it is my goal to attend law school and eventually open my own practice. Thank you all for coming out, and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Catherine Corey, Miss Century 21, William R. Smith.
Good evening. What possesses a teenager to wake up at 6:30 on a Saturday morning? Shopping? Going to the beach? How about washing dishes? That's right, I'm a dishwasher and I'm proud of it. I've been doing dishes at Harvest Cafe for the past year and I cannot ask for a better job. I consider myself to be a very hard worker. I will get things done even if it means I have to go home a greasy mess. When my boss noted my work ethic, he decided to add another position to my schedule, hostessing. Although I love doing dishes, I have a passion for helping the customers. I'm a helper, I always have been, and hostessing has allowed me to expand those helping skills. I've also learned a lot about how to interact with all different age groups. Since I love working hard and helping people, I decided that my future career should be something that will allow me to do so, but on a larger scale. This is why I will be pursuing a master's degree in occupational therapy. OTs help people of all ages get back to their daily routines, and I believe the feeling of helping a patient accomplish a goal would be like none other. I know I have the work ethic and the people skills to be successful in this field, and I cannot wait to begin working as an occupational therapist. Thank you.
All right, sorry about that, but now we will go to Jacqueline Martino, Miss Educational Play Care.
Good evening. I was born in Wiesbaden, Germany, while my father served in the Gulf War. Since then, one of the most important things in my life has been cheerleading. For 10 years, I've been committed to Windsor cheerleading. At the age of 7, I fell in love with the team bonding, new experiences, and great friends that I would make. At the age of, from the beginning of August until late November of every year, cheerleading was my life. When I wasn't busy cheering, I focused on my schoolwork because good grades were always important to my family. I was able to balance my love for cheerleading and my academics so well that I made the all-academic team first quarter of my senior year. Proof that I could maintain academic excellence while also balancing the demands of receiving a varsity letter award. Beginning in September, I will be attending Central Connecticut State University. As I enter college, I hope to be able to continue cheering and receiving good grades. I believe that cheerleading has helped make me the determined young woman that I am today. Thank you.
Okay, Rebecca Trinks, The Beanery at Bart's.
Good evening. As I stand here at the podium, I'd like to take this time to focus your attention on the current widespread issue of the overuse of the word retarded. So last year, the program that I'm president of, Best Buddies, started a campaign, to stop the word, even if we only reached out to the students at the high school. Being a part of this campaign and Best Buddies made me realize that people need help in accomplishing their goals when the ignorance of others stands in their way. Everyone deserves the right to find their passion in life, whether it's in engineering, art, music, or like mine, in dance. For 11 years, I've been dancing with Footloose Dance Academy, and just this year, I began teaching classes. Every Tuesday, my students gather in the studio and continue to develop their dance and communication skills as I teach them to move to the beat of music. These leadership skills I have developed today were not only derived from dancing, but also through being selected as captain of the volleyball team at the high school. But helping on a small scale isn't what I had in mind. I want to extend this idea to as many people as possible, protecting people and correcting injustices as I hope to become an FBI agent. Thank you.
Krupa Kajavji, Miss New England Veterinary Care.
Good evening. My hobbies are reading, listening to music, and spending time with my family and friends. I've been part of the Windsor High School Orchestra and have been playing violin since 3rd grade. I've also been manager of the girls outdoor track team both my sophomore and junior year. I took responsibility for recording and taking pictures of the various activities we do by becoming historian for the future business leaders of America, while continuing to develop communications and management skills. I plan to major in business and then go on to law school, pursuing a career in corporate law at Drexel or Pace University. In order to get a background in law, I did volunteer work assisting a probation officer in Hartford. I helped write pre-sentence investigation reports as well as made and answered phone calls to find out about the backgrounds of the criminals. I also got the honor of participating in Laurel Girl State. Laurel Girl State is an American Legion auxiliary program which began in 1944 by the returning World War II veterans with the goal of increasing and understanding of our democratic form of government. I would like to thank my sponsor and everyone else here for this opportunity.
Marissa Lewis, Miss Noon's Quality Plumbing and Heating.
Good evening. I've been working at Bob's Discount Furniture in Manchester for almost 2 years as a cafe hostess. My job consists of making cookies, popcorn, and coffee for the customers. This job is a great experience because I do with many different people. I volunteer as much as I can at my church, which is the First Church in Windsor. I am a youth deacon there, and my responsibilities consist of collecting prayer cards and also collecting offering from the church members. When I am not deaconing, I help out with the kids in church school. I love helping out at my church when we go to soup kitchens and we go Christmas caroling. It's great to see the joy that we can bring to people in need. In the fall, I plan to attend the University of New Haven and study forensic psychology. I hope to become a criminal profiler when I finish college. I'm very pleased to be running for Shad Derby Queen with so many of my friends, and I'm happy to be able to have been included in such a great experience. Thank you.
Shelby Ekman, Miss Union Street Tavern.
Good evening. I find it very interesting how parents name their children. Some are named after actors, authors, or characters from books. My parents were interested in something a little more unique. I was named after the Shelby Mustang. For about 7 years, I've been a babysitter. A lot of people babysit to make some extra money. To be honest, that's really why I started. When I was 10 years old, I became a mother's helper. My neighbor, whose husband was away a lot because of the military, needed some extra help caring for their 3 young children. This was the turning point for me wanting to find a career that will allow me to work with children. I have realized that becoming a nurse lets me work with children in many ways. Next fall, I will be attending Western Connecticut State University and major in nursing. My goal is to become a pediatric nurse. This will allow me to fulfill my dream working with children of all ages. Thank you.
Melinda Peck, Miss Exchange Club of Windsor.
Good evening, judges, family, friends, and supporters. Currently, I'm a senior at Windsor High School, and I'm 18 years old. When I was 7 years old, I was adopted by the Pecks, and I've lived in Windsor ever since. Through grade school, I played many sports, including tennis, softball, and basketball, but I soon realized that sports weren't something I wanted to pursue. As I was growing up, I always loved the idea of doing makeup and cutting hair. One of my first memories of living in Windsor was getting my hair cut professionally for the first time. This began my interest in hairdressing. In fact, I remember one time When I was about 8, I cut my bangs really short, and my mom asked me if I cut them. I thought nobody had noticed, so I said no. However, she said she found the hair in my trash can. Ever since then, I have been cutting and coloring my friends and my own hair. I have realized my passion is cosmetology. After high school, I hope to attend the International Institute of Cosmetology in Wethersfield. Thank you.
Ashley Malloy, Miss Prudential Lombardi Rispoli team.
Good evening. For me, the stage is not a pedestal of self-importance that many presume it to be, but a place where I can use my gifts of singing and acting for the benefit of others. Participating in the Tapestry Singers has granted me the opportunity to assist others while molding my passion. Last year, I devoted my summer to studying intensively vocal and acting technique. The culmination of me and my castmates' efforts, an original musical raised nearly $1,000 for underprivileged schools in the Dominican Republic. This February, Tapestry performed our annual show to raise money for a medical clinic in Nigeria. Our talents drew an expansive audience, and in turn we collected enough to finance the salaries of a doctor and nurse for 1 year. Since joining the Tapestry Singers, I have learned that my gifts are not merely for my own advancement, but for the enrichment and betterment of others, whether they're sitting in the front row or located in the farthest corners of the earth. Performing for the greater good of others, and not for myself, has proved to be the real joy of the performing arts. Thank you.
Brittany Burton, Miss Windsor Jaycees.
Good evening. Currently, I am a senior at the Metropolitan Learning Center in Bloomfield. Attending MLC has given me the chance to expand my knowledge on a more global scale. I have been fortunate enough to befriend students from multiple countries around the world. Each of these people have shared a piece of their culture with me, for which I am eternally grateful. MLC has also given me the chance to attend the 2009 inauguration of President Obama in Washington, D.C. Going to MLC, I have been able to fulfill my goal of becoming a strong, independent person. Ever since I can remember, my mother told me she wanted me to be independent. And so when I was 8 years old, I began babysitting and volunteering at many medical facilities, I have been working a lot ever since, and currently I am the manager at Windsor Domino's, and I work per diem at Windsor Rehabilitation. This fall, I will be attending the nursing program at St. Joseph's College in West Hartford. I always knew I wanted to work in a field that made a difference, so the nursing field is one I am truly excited to enter. Thank you very much, and have a nice evening.
Nicole Napierkowski, Miss Jordan Florist.
Hello and good evening. At the beginning of my sophomore year, I joined the Windsor High School robotics team, and each year since, my understanding of science and technology has grown, allowing me to better prepare myself for a future as an engineer. Now as a captain on the team, I have gained the skills necessary to better communicate my ideas, as well as understand more people and more points of views. During our 6-week build season, I gained the skills necessary to operate hand and power tools that I've also transferred into other aspects of my life, such as the summer church build projects that I do each year. We also as a team attend several competitions where we cheer loudly not only for ourselves, but for others as well, teaching us how to be gracious and professional. But despite all these lovely things that I receive from the team, what I love most is the unique people on it. Each person brings their own piece to the team and completes the puzzle. The unique combination of jokes and stories told during each night makes it irreplaceable and memorable. Thank you.
Priya Kumar, Miss PC Development Group.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Besides my role as a dedicated student, I enjoy many interests outside the classroom. I'm an avid photographer, and one of my favorite things is expressing myself through photography. I use my privilege of being the Interact Club president as a way to reach out and help my community. We support not only our own community, but also organizations all around the world. I also plan on helping others by becoming a member of the emergency medical system. I have completed my EMT training, and I am in the process of becoming certified. While riding the ambulance during my training, I realized just how much I really love the medical field. As I was talking to and treating the patient, I came to understand that nothing could give me more satisfaction than physically helping people. As I grow older, I plan to continue benefiting my community with a career as an emergency room doctor. I am going to attend the University of Connecticut next fall, and from there I will work to achieve my goal of going to medical school. I wish you all a good night, and I hope you have a wonderful evening. Thank you.
Fiona Coleman, Miss Windsor Lions Club.
Good evening. Many of you may have seen me before running around Windsor, another town, or even another state. Running is not just an activity of mine, it is a part of me. It satisfies my three deepest passions: being active, exploring, and community involvement. It gives me the chance to be outside, moving, free, and one with nature. I have traveled across the U.S. with nationals being held from Richmond, Virginia to Spokane, Washington. And I have explored almost the entire town of Windsor, running on almost every road and trail, going where most people have never ventured. I love to share this experience with others in my community by inspiring, encouraging, and engaging others. Cross country has enriched almost every aspect of my life, giving me self-discipline, respect for my body, and so many amazing experiences. I simply just can't stand still, figuratively and literally. No matter what I am doing, I am always pushing my limits, trying out new things, going to new places, and engaging others in what I do. Thank you.
Well, thank you everybody for coming out tonight. The judges, boy, it's tough. They did a great job. I hope to see you all in the fall.